Good morning to you. This is the Star Breakfast News on your Simply the Best dial 103.5 FM with me, Nurain Abbas. And coming up this morning, former Deputy Finance Minister and Obuasi West MP Kweku Kwating rubbishes assertions that his latest letter to the party was born out of bitterness, insisting he only wants to prevent a future collapse of the country.
Why should I be bitter? I am not bitter at all. Recently, I was invited to take up a ministerial position in government, not a deputy minister, a ministerial position.
Also coming up, minority accuses government of using postings of nurses as an election campaign tool. Later in this bulletin, still in Parliament, the minority again justifies petition to thrash over secret recruitment into security agencies.
So Shraj has the mandate, under the Constitution and under their act. That is why we have decided to invoke the jurisdiction of Shraj. So the petition you see making the rounds on social media is real. We signed it.
Details are up shortly after this reminder of our affiliate stations. Please don't go away. I am Nurain Abbas. Many thanks to you for choosing Star News. Now, former Deputy Finance Minister and Obuasi West MP Kweku Kwating has rubbished assertions that his latest letter to the party was born out of bitterness. Mr. Kwating, who is the immediate past chairman of the Finance Committee of Parliament, in an open letter assessed that since independence, the country has constantly engaged in overspending and borrowing to finance government's businesses, likening the practice to a Ponzi scheme. Speaking to Star News, he insists he holds nothing against the governing party of which he is a member. Let's have a listen to him.
And it's partly the way this matter has also been reported. So you see a headline and it says, we are running the economy like a Ponzi scheme. And if you don't get the context and what I mean by we, you interpret it to be the NPP administration. And of course, there may be other people belonging to the party, especially party communicators, who get upset. And then, because they are upset, they say, oh, he's saying that they look for reasons why an NPP man would say that. That's where those things are coming from. But if you read the whole write-up and you see, you will not come to that conclusion. And why should I be bitter? I am not bitter at all. Recently, I was invited to take up a ministerial position in government, not a deputy minister, a ministerial position. And I said the work we are doing in Parliament is also helpful to government business. And please let me remain here. My superior says, okay, we hear you. They left me here. Why should I be bitter? I have no reason to be bitter.
Kweku Kwating adds that he has had to make the call for reforms as he feels the country is heading into instability, and therefore it is in the interest of all political parties to admit to a problem and take steps to solve them.
What gives me sleepless nights is the thought that if we don't change the way we have been managing this economy, Ghana at some point would find it difficult to do the basic things governments must do. And I worry that at that point our democracy may be destabilized. And if our democracy is destabilized, our political parties themselves will be no more. That is what is driving me. So those who say he has a problem or he's bitter, they don't know what you're saying. It's also because most of them have not read the write-up in full. I am not bitter at all. Look, I like this government. The NPP is in my blood. I've been an NPP man since my student days. I was one of the founding fathers of TESCON from KNUST campus when I was then doing engineering. Why? I love this party. I love this government. I just hope that we'll be able to do things in a way that guarantees a better future for our country and for our children and our motherland.
You heard former Deputy Finance Minister and Obuasi West MP Kweku Kwating. Away from that, the minority in Parliament has accused the Nana Addo administration of using postings in the health sector as a tool for political campaign. Government has announced the recruitment of more than 15,000 health professionals. According to the MP for Draboso and ranking member on the Health Committee, Kwabena Minta Akando, the move is a trick to win the votes of the graduates who have been home for the past 4 years as a result of government's refusal to post them. Mr. Akando further accused the NPP of doing the same thing in 2016 and in 2020 when it assured these professionals of jobs in order to get their votes, but did not keep to its promise. He therefore advised the youth not to fall for these old tricks of the NPP.
This current opening is nothing more than an electioneering strategy to deceive graduate nurses who have had to suffer, in some cases, 4 years of unemployment to re-elect into power a government that, if elected, will wait another election cycle before opening recruitment portals into the Ghana Health Service. This political gimmickry with recruitment into the Ghana Health Service has precedents which can easily be cited. In the first term of President Akufo-Addo's government, of which Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was the head of the economic management team, general recruitment of health workers, especially nurses and midwives, was deferred to the period spanning November 4 to November 15, 2020, a few weeks to elections as part of the broad campaign strategy. Once voted into office, health service graduates had to suffer a similar fate of waiting for 4 years to be recruited into the Ghana Health Service, resulting in a poor healthcare delivery service owing to a high attrition of highly skilled healthcare workers, without replacement from 251,527 in 2021 to a low of 182,233 in 2023.
Let's still remain on the minority because they have justified their decision to petition Starr for a probe into circumstances surrounding recruitment into the security agencies by government. The Interior Minister, Henry Quartey, has denied the secret recruitment claim by the minority, explaining only a backlog is being cleared. Addressing the media after a petition to Starr, ranking member for the Defense and Interior Committee, James Agalga, reiterated the backlog explanation by the Interior Minister is untenable.
In fact, the Constitution actually talks about the public service. And you know, the police service, all the agencies under the Ministry of the Interior form part of the public service. But specific mention is made of the police, the prisons, and, the fire service. So the point is that Shrike has the mandate to ensure that there is equal access to all when it comes to recruitment into the security services. And the point is, how can you guarantee equal access to all if the recruitments are not advertised with the eligibility criteria clearly spelled out? That is why we have found it necessary to proceed to Shraj, invoke the jurisdiction of Shraj to ensure that justice is done to the youth of this country who are about to be shortchanged. You see, so Shraj has the mandate. I mean, under the Constitution and under their act. That is why we have decided to invoke the jurisdiction of Shraj. So the petition you see making the rounds on social media is real. We signed it. My colleague, Honorable Peter, also signed it. The majority deputy minority leader, Amabwa, also signed it. So it is our deed and we stand by it.
You had ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, James Agalga. Now, still in Parliament, the Speaker, Alban Babin, has apologized for the brouhaha surrounding the legislative instrument for MPs and judges, which sought to allow them drive without speed limits. The apology by the Speaker comes weeks after the withdrawal of the LI following the public backlash. The former Najoli Kaliu MP, after the apology, also assured Ghanaians that Parliament remains acutely responsive to their needs.
Following the opposition's firm stance against the legislative instrument, the government has decided to withdraw the proposed amendments. Today, I wish to address the very key issues arising from this situation, provide clarity on the legislative process, and engage in a constructive dialogue about the future of subsidiary legislation in our beloved country. We recognize the public's perception of insensitivity, and I'm here to offer an apology and assure the Ghanaian people that this Parliament remains acutely aware of and responsive to their needs. Furthermore, I will outline the process of subsidiary legislation making, clarify the steps we have taken to streamline this process through our new standing orders, and invite a robust debate on whether the current constitutional framework for subsidiary legislation is fit for purpose.
You heard Speaker of